What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. And today we are going to be discussing some WB news, including Charlotte Flair and Vinnie Mac. So, obviously, let's start with Vince McMahon here for a second. He is back. He is back in charge of creative. We all knew this day was coming, and now it's here. So he was backstage at Friday Night SmackDown. He was backstage at the Hall of Fame. He was backstage at WrestleMania. He was backstage at Monday Night Raw this week, as I record this on April 4th, 2023. So, obviously, Endeavor Group, they acquired WB. Now WB and the UFC will merge into a brand new company that is expected to have the transaction be done by the end of this year. And Vince McMahon was on CNBC. He was asked whether or not he would be involved in creative. He said yes and no. He said in a higher position or a higher level or some bullshit like that. He was asked whether he was going to be in the weeds. He said no, which was a similar comment that he made in 2019 when Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff were brought in as the executive directors of Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. So look, Triple H is running day-to-day creative for now, in theory, until Vince gets rid of him as a scapegoat because the product is going to get significantly worse. Triple H took over for Vince McMahon in the summer of 2022 after the hush money scandal that eventually led to Vince McMahon's resignation as the CEO and chairman. He returned in January as the executive chairman to oversee a sale of the company, in which obviously he has done now. This is terrible news. I don't look forward to it whatsoever. He made significant changes to the Raw script. There were changes done right before the show. There was changes made during the show. In fact, there's a video going around, and it's actually viral, of Seth Rollins coming out for a promo. He had a microphone in his hand, and when they went to commercial, he's standing in the ring to come back from commercial to his promo segment. Some production person was talking to him, and he was clearly upset, and then just left once they came back from break. It was, and he didn't say a word. It was very, very odd. Time will tell how much he gets involved. I'm waiting on the report that comes out that states he walked into a creative meeting and he sat down with his protein bar and his steak, right, and his freaking ketchup. I'm waiting for that day. The other story that broke today was Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair dropped the SmackDown Women's title to Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania Night 1 on Saturday night. Now, coming out of that show, a lot of people picked up on the fact that she was shredded. She was in phenomenal shape. Dave Meltzer had mentioned the ESPN article regarding, so she did this interview with ESPN leading into WrestleMania where she was talking about potentially going into bodybuilding and doing a bodybuilding competition this summer. And she even mentioned, I don't know how I'm going to be able to train like that because she has switched up her diet and her training regimen. How do I make that type of investment in her body and trying to build up those muscles and get into a certain, shape while she's on the road, 3 nights a week or whatnot, wherever the schedule is. How do I do that? Okay. And so there was some speculation on whether or not she was going to take time off from the company. Fast forward to today, Tuesday, PW Insider, and credit to them because they've actually increased their coverage quite a bit on behind their paywall on PW Elite for $8.99. If y'all are interested, this is where these reports came from. That she was going to be taking time off from the company. The report stated that she had been telling people backstage over the weekend at various events that, look, her and Andrade are going to go and travel. That's what the report stated. She had told the company this news over the weekend. It did not factor in to Rhea Ripley defeating Flair for the SmackDown Women's title because they had, in fact, made the decision to do a title change at this show months ago. So, or weeks ago, rather, sorry. Weeks ago, the decision was locked in. Hey, she's going to drop the title. Rhea Ripley's going to go and do her thing. This comes after Flair had taken a hiatus in May of 2022. Originally, she took time off due to her wedding with Andrade. Then she had issues with like dental work, something with her teeth. I don't know. And she didn't return until December 30th on an episode of SmackDown. She made her surprise return. She beat Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's title. So she's going on a hiatus. It's quite interesting. But anyway, that's the news for today. Please consider dropping a like, subscribing to the channel for more wrestling content, and I will see y'all in the next video.